Start. So we were discussing. It was not identifying, right? Why it was not identifying? What is the reason? It's a class only, right? Okay. So can you observe here? So there is a compound words are there in the class value. Compound means many words. And there are spaces split between BTN, space BTN, hyphen primary. So that kind of, spaces are there. This kind of spaces are there. It won't recognize. Then what is the procedure? Where is the solution? I have given very clearly. If there is a space between class value words, then replace the space with a dot. What we need to do? What is the solution for this? So now here space is there, right? Now here space is there. See, BTN value, the class value has a spaces between words. So that means it's a compound words. Multiple words are there, but words between spaces are there. Words between spaces are there in the class value. Then Selenium doesn't recognize directly. Then what you need to do? Wherever space is there, the space you close with a dot. Remove the space, put a dot there. Okay, that's the thing you have to do. One. Okay, sorry. So whenever you get a space in the class attribute value, remove the space and put a dot. So here is the very clear instructions. If there is a space between class value words, then replace the space with a dot. So now see above the class value. So observe this class value, BTN underscore primary hyphen large, then space is there. From underscore button hyphen floating. There is no space, but only one space is there. So this space you need to replace with a dot like this. Same here also, this value you replace with a dot. Now, where is the space? Here, right? I'll replace that with a dot. Now see, it will recognize that element. See now, we are identifying that element. So this is how you can identify if there is a space in the class attribute value. So how to write in CSS? So by CSS class. So this is the continue button, right? Continue button. So here you have to write input hash dot, input dot, the class value. So get this class value. So the class here also you need to remove white space and put a dot. So this is the how to identify, but is again the selector locator name is CSS selector only. Locator name is CSS selector only. Locator name is CSS selector only. Any questions, concerns? Are you all clear till now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the next one is, so class is done. Now identifying an elements with any attributes. So any attribute, right? Till now we seen in the CSS format ID class only. But what about other attributes? You have so many attributes, right? Name is there, value is there, type is there, href is there, src, alt, tab index, placeholder, so many attributes. I'm just listing out few of them. Alt, right? But even ID also you can use. So this is the formula. Any attribute you can use here. Till now we used ID name class only to identify the web elements. But CSS will give you a provision to you to use any kind of attributes. Any attribute. It's up to you. You choose your attribute and that value and you can use it. So this is the one formula. CSS equal to tag name, square bracket, attribute name equal to single quote attribute value. Single quote in between you have to put attribute value. So where you will get this attribute value? Where you will get this attribute? And tag name, for this tag, this attribute should be present and this attribute value should be present. So in the HTML you will get this, all these values. Okay, so that's a single attribute and single attribute value. There are multiple attributes also you can use. So like this, CSS equal to tag name, square bracket, attribute name equal to value, attribute 2 equal to value. Okay, so these are the different attributes you can use to identify them. Now let's go and see that how to identify an element with the different attributes. Okay. So let me show you this. I'll go here. Take this example, okay? Take this example. So with the type, I want to identify this one. So directly, we don't have a formula with the type attribute, right? So you cannot use directly type. So I have to use it with the CSS only. Tag name is input, square bracket. Attribute name I'm using type equal to type value. What is the type value? Submit. Within single quotes. Now see, I can identify the continue button again. Even I can use multiple attributes. So that is also possible. I'll show you the radio buttons. See here, type radio, name newsletter, value 1. So I'll use a value attribute. So let's go open new CSS equal to. So what is the tag name? Input tag. Square bracket. So at the rate, sorry, not at the rate required in the CSS, type equal to radio. One more attribute if you want to use value equal to 1. 2 attributes I used. 2 attributes I used. Something wrong? It's identifying, but not highlighting. Yeah, so that happens. That's okay. So it's okay. It is not identifying, but you can check. How do you know, sir, if it is not identifying? You can get a question, right? Then just put a click method. So now execute this. How to execute? Right click. Play this test step. Executed, but I didn't execute. Why? Input. Play this test step. It should execute. They should select this. It is not selecting. Get. Sometimes methods are a problem here. Click it. I didn't execute. Not sure. But this is the correct one. We'll say we'll see a different one. If not, let's go here. State dropdown, we'll see. We have a name class, right? Both I'll use. Or ID and name, both I can use. Let me try this one. CSS equal to select square bracket name equal to copy the name value. Zone ID. See, first it will identify or not, check it. Okay. It is identifying. Now one more I want to add. ID equal to ID value. So ID value, don't try to just copy from HTML. Any value, don't write. There might be a chances of making mistakes. See, now it is recognizing. It is recognizing. So let's say so even more than one attribute also you can use. So identifying a single with a single attribute by single attribute or multiple attributes. So I can use this one. Single attribute, I can use CSS selector input square bracket type equal to. They already use single quotes here. Submit. Okay, this is the one. And multiple attributes. Multiple attributes, this one, right? I use it, this one. I can use this. State dropdown. See, this is the one, how you can write. State dropdown. Straight drop down. So this is how you can identify your web page elements. Any questions till now? And we have one more locator. How to identify the header text? You have a header text. How can you identify? For example, this is the header text, right? This one is the header text. So you have only H1 tags. Say H1 tag. Directly you can write CSS equal to H1. You don't need anything. Just CSS equal to, just tag name you write. See that? It will identify that header text. Okay. So that is another one. Web element. So header text equal to driver dot find element. This one you can write. You can just put H1. So how to identify element with this CSS selector another way. Next one is okay. So next one is how can you identify dynamically changing elements? So your elements are dynamically changing. Till now static, right? Values are not changing. Values are constant. And directly you are giving the value and it's identifying. But what about if the attribute value dynamically changes? Every time you refresh the page, the value changes. Then how you can manage? How can you handle this? This is one of the famous interview question. How can you handle dynamically changing elements in Selenium? That's a question. So the answer you have to give using CSS selector or XPath concepts. You can identify the dynamically changing elements. So how you can handle them is, okay, so let's go and see that. So this is one regular expression star, caret symbol starts with, dollar symbol ends with. These are the three regular expressions you are using to identify your elements. Okay. Now, so let's see how to use what is meant by star, what is meant by caret symbol, and what is dollar symbol. So star is contains means partial attribute value. You don't need to write a complete attribute value. For example, your attribute value is dynamically changing, so that you can give unchanged portion here. No need to give changed portion. Suppose, let me show you that very best example in the rediff.com we have. So if you go to rediff.com to create account page, every element name attribute value dynamically changes. See that? Inspect it. This one. See where is the name? This one, right? If you use a name locator to identify that element, it won't recognize. So first time it will recognize, no issues. So name equal to name value. You just give name equal to name value. See now it is highlighting, right? Now just refresh the page. Refresh the page means you are revisiting the page. Now, so try it out. See, it is throwing error. See, element is not found. Why? Same, right? Same element, we didn't change it. Element is same, everything same. Then what is the change? So let's go and check what is the problem. See that, compare this value and previous value. See, both compare. So what is the change here? Can you observe?
Name changes, sir.
Where it has changed?
Entire name changes, sir.
So BTN CHK avail, till that it is constant. Remaining portion all are changing. But then name locator, can you use now? Can you use name locator? Can you use name locator to identify this element? Yes or no, guys? What is that? Very silent means what is mean by that? Whether you can
Yes,
use
sir.
name locator to identify, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Only name locator. Only name locator can you use or not?
Yes, yes. Yes, sir.
If you use it, it is failing, right? Then how can you use?
Sometimes, sir.
You can take class, right?
It's okay. Class is there, but you can use class. But what about if you want to use name?
Because
Can you-
value is different here.
Hmm?
Value is different. That is why it is getting fail.
It is changing, right? The value is changing every time. Every time you revisit the page, name value will change. That's the dynamically changing elements means. Then how can you handle them? So you need to use these formulas. So wherever changed portion, you omit that. Only unchanged portion, give it here. Then it will work for always. So this portion is not changing. I'll give only this one. So CSS equal to, I will use CSS only. That's a CSS formula, not name formula. CSS equal to input square bracket name equal to, name star. Check available. See that? Now you refresh the page. Nothing will happen. You refresh the page. I don't need to change my locator. See that it will work always. It will work always. That's the star means contains. Anywhere you can give. Contains means what? You can, if the name attribute contains the value. Not necessary you have to give only BTN check avail. I can give only avail. I can give only CHK. I can give only BTN. Or I can give complete. But complete value, changed portion you should not give. Changed portion you should not allow to give here. If you give, it will fail. That's why you are handling with the contains formula that will take care of automatically. If this value contains by this name attribute, then Selenium will recognize that in the web page. Same, you take this beginning. So caret symbol. So instead of star, you can just use caret symbol. What is meant by caret symbol? A beginning portion. So if I use a CHK while, it won't recognize. If I use, see, if I use, so name starting part is what? BTN, right? BTN. For example, if I give instead of BTN, if I give CHK, it won't recognize. Why it won't recognize? You see that. See what it is saying? Element is not found. Why? Your name attribute is not starting with the CHK. Caret symbol means starts with the starting part. You are telling, okay, name starting with CHK. You go identify in the web page, you are asking Selenium. Selenium is saying, I cannot find the name which is starting with CHK. Any element which is not starting with the input tag, name attribute is not starting with CHK. That's why it is saying element is not found. But this one, yeah, it is starting with, that's why it is identifying. Okay, so that's the one thing how to handle. And even you can see even this one. Okay, you can see here value is there, class is there. I can use a dollar. So dollar, that is a ends with. So ends with means CSS equal to, so it is input tag only, square bracket, class, dollar, so just I'll just give you last part portion. This is BTN. I'll just give BTN. Last portion. Okay. I didn't give beginning portion. Submit, I didn't give. The last portion. Dollar means ends with. The class is ending with BTN or not, it will check. Yes, that is ending with BTN. That's why. So that's the how to handle dynamically changing elements with the star, caret, and dollar with the CSS. Okay, so these are the formulas, and task for you is you create a all with ID, name, class, link text, partial link text, CSS selector formulas, and send it to me with these formulas. You have to write in this format. You take any website. You take any website and send me in this format. So write your website name, what element you are identifying exactly, clearly I want, because I am going to check whether this is identifying or not, right? So that's a task for you guys. Please do and send it to me. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Any questions?